Hey, we're back. And guess what? We got another story for you. If you didn't see last week's, you should check it out. It was the Easter story of Jesus' resurrection. And this is happening right after the version where Mary was crying outside the tomb, right? And then who shows up? Jesus. But who did she think he was?
A gardener.
A gardener, that's right. So in this version, the disciples are still all hiding, and Mary knows. Still hiding. That's right. Yeah. So we're going to find them in their little hold-up little house. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Go team.
Go team.
Our story begins in the little house where the disciples were hiding, for they were afraid of suffering the same fate as their teacher, a grisly execution that had happened days before. Huddled in fear in the house, the disciples were terrified.
They're coming for us, you know. I know they're coming for us. Did you lock the door? Of course I did. I just hope they don't hear us in here.
When all of a sudden, in the room, while the door was locked, there shone a great light. And who was it? It was Jesus. He had appeared amongst them.
What in the world? Oh my goodness.
The disciples were all shocked and surprised, and Jesus spoke to them in their fear. "Peace be with you," he said. "Peace be with you. I have been sent from God, and now I am sending you. Receive the Holy Spirit." And he breathed the Spirit upon them. "Go, forgive sins. If you forgive sins, they're forgiven. Go, get back to it, gang. The mission is still at hand. Go with my peace. Go with the Spirit." The disciples were standing in amazement.
He seems really bright. Can you see? Is that him?
The disciples were in almost utter disbelief, but that's when they saw his hands. His hands still had the holes in them from his execution. And after breathing the Spirit upon them, he departed.
Can you believe that? I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it myself.
Now Thomas, who you'll remember was the disciple who was brave and said he wanted to follow Jesus to Jerusalem, even if it meant their own death, was not in the locked room.
What?
What?
Where was he?
What? Where was Thomas?
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine. For all we know, he could have been getting food or supplies. "Hey, how many pizzas do you think I'll need for 12 people hiding in a house?"
I don't know, maybe 6.
Yeah, let's do that. Or he could have been out still doing what he always does, telling the story of Jesus. "Yeah, way I see it is he may be dead, but I'm not. And I still think there was a lot of good things he had to say. So if they want me to stop, they're going to have to arrest me." For all we know, he could have just been distraught and not know where to go in the midst of all this.
Sir, you finished your pizza like an hour ago.
I don't know. I feel so lost.
What brings you to Jerusalem?
I don't even know anymore. To his credit, Thomas wasn't hiding in a locked room.
Hey, it's scary out there, you know.
True. When Thomas arrived to see the disciples later on, "Pizza's here." When he arrived, the house was abuzz.
You'll never believe it, you'll never believe it, you'll never believe it.
What are you talking about?
He was here, Jesus, and he was back, and there were holes in his hands.
Holes in his hands?
I saw the whole thing. Lights, smoke, holes in his hands, it was real.
What do you mean?
It was great and also kind of scary.
Of course it was kind of scary. He's dead.
Why is this such a surprise to all of you? I already told you I saw him.
But now I've seen him, which is totally different. Look, guys, I think you've been cooped up in here way, way, way too long. No way. No offense, but I think it's because you've been inside. You need to get out. Only way I'm going to believe this is if I see it myself, if I can see the holes in his hands. You guys, this is kind of cruel what you're doing here. A week later, when the disciples were all huddled in the house, Thomas included, it happened again. Thomas could not believe his own eyes. Peace be with you. Thomas, it's good to see you. My Lord, my God. Here, you wanted proof? Here, look at my hands. Oh my goodness. I can't believe what I'm seeing. You believe because you've seen. Blessed are those who believe who haven't seen. It's true. Now, Jesus did many more miracles in their sight that aren't written here.
What?
What?
What else did he do?
What else did he do?
Yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine. It is finished.
Whoa, I've never seen anyone eat 6 pizzas before.
Get a load of this, my disciples.
Who made you showed him this? Pretty cool, right?
Regardless of what other miracles happened or what other signs he did, one thing was clear. Jesus was back. And this was written so that you would believe that Jesus is the Messiah. Hey, and that's what happened, basically. Except for those things where we were making guesses, but yeah. Thomas, right? Thomas is a great story, and it's great because it's so memorable, right? Like, people talk about Thomas a lot, and one of the things they use to describe him, sadly, is he is often referred to as Doubting Thomas because he didn't believe what the disciples saw. But I still think that's unfair because, like we said in the video, Thomas was often pretty brave and wanted to follow Jesus boldly, so he wasn't hiding with the other ones. We don't know what he was up to. He could have been doing anything. But calling him a doubter kind of has that negative connotation, but doubt isn't supposed to be a negative connotation. He just wanted to see for himself, right? Which is totally understandable. If you hear something unbelievable, you say, let me see. Show me. Thomas wanted to see, and we want to see too. But I think the word that when he does see that strikes me, that phrase is where he says, my God, my Lord and my God. He's remembering this is God, right? This is God. This is how God works. He's overwhelmed again by those feelings of being present with Jesus because he's back. And he says, yeah, when Jesus makes a promise, when God makes a promise, God keeps God's promises. In this case, it was that he said, I will return. I will be handed over to the authorities. I will suffer death, but I will return. God shows up when God says God will show up. That's great news. So for us, a question would be, where might we encounter God? Where is God promising to be around us? Because I don't know about you, but I want to see God. I want to see Jesus. So where is a place where we could see Jesus? Where's a place where Jesus promises to be? And one thing we have as a community is this communion, the opportunity to gather around the table and remember the night in which Jesus was betrayed when he said, do this. Do this in remembrance of me. This is me. This is my body. This is my blood. We're together. When I throw a party, I show up. So that's one way we encounter Jesus in this very tangible way, remembering God is with us. God forgives us. So if we want to see Jesus, we can see Jesus in the body practicing communion. Or what about other promises Jesus made? Can we think of any that Jesus has made? How about just as you do to them, to the least of these, you do to me. So if you serve those who are in need, you are serving me. If you heal those who need healing, you're healing me. When you welcome the stranger, you're welcoming me. So if we want to see Jesus, we sometimes only need to look to the needs of our neighbors, look to the margins, to outside of our own bubbles and say, who is someone I can serve? Because in serving them, I know from Jesus' promise, I am serving Jesus. When I welcome a stranger, I am welcoming Jesus. Hard to believe sometimes, but my Lord, my God, it's true. We only need to listen and hear the words of Jesus' promise that even to the ends of the earth, I am with you. Even at your own dinner table, I am with you. When you remember this, I am with you. Even when you see your neighbors and their hearts for service and you care for your people who are in need, when you wash people's feet, when you care for people, you are serving me. So how can we meet Jesus this week? That's the question. Maybe it's here in worship. Maybe it's in service or care for our neighbors. If you find a way to serve your neighbor this week, I encourage you to do so because that's an opportunity to serve Jesus. It's an opportunity to meet Jesus. If you find a way to welcome somebody who's feeling like they're on the outside, great news. You're welcoming Jesus. If you find a way to care for people who are being ignored, you're caring for Jesus. Because when Jesus promises, Jesus keeps those promises. When Jesus throws a party, Jesus shows up. So have a great week, everybody. Bye.